Done it easy.
Go in across the field. First of all, we'll show you how loud these weapons are. Now, don't put your fingers in your ears. If you want to give yourself some protection, just cup them and open your mouth slightly. That will ease the pressure. So we're going to start with a volley. Volleys were what would normally be the domain of the redcoats, but we're going to demonstrate it for you as well. Okay, Sergeant, you take over.
Section well prepared to give volley fire! Make ready! Present! Fire! Recover! Reload! Reload!
As you can see, it takes some time to actually do the loading. If we were putting lead bolt down them, we would be very lucky to load a rifle twice a minute. Musket, on the other hand, in the hands of a trained soldier, 3, 4, maybe 5, depending.
Section well prepared to give volley fire! Make ready! Present! Fire! Recover! Reload!
The standard. And we always have one of them loaded. So as I said, they can only do loading twice a minute. So if anything untoward happens, there's at least one of them that will drop for
Loaded! Loaded!
basic.
Coming through on your left.
And then we gradually move forward. As soon as the part tells you it's loaded, it fires. Then move forward in a line, spread across the field. And this could be covering a distance of maybe a quarter of a mile. Now their targets would be those that control the free jumping. So we wouldn't be firing at people regarding private guns. We would aim at officers who are on horses mainly, drummer boys, corporals.
Sector close! Rifles well fired by the chain! By the chain, commence!
Loaded. Loaded, Connor.
Loaded!
By the time we got all the way to the end of 500 men, 400 loaded.
Loaded, Scott.
Loaded corporal.
Got it, Sergeant.
Loaded. Loaded, Connor.
Loaded!
Loaded, Scott.
Loaded corporal.
Loaded, Sergeant.
Cease fire! Reload!
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're very lucky here to have
one of the best green jacket units in the country, the 1st 95th, and once they've done us a great big favour of thinning out the French lines, getting rid of their officers, their NCOs, and those poor little drummer boys, don't say they will then retire, as the Colonel said, either to the flanks of the red coat line or behind the red coat line and allow the redcoats to do their job. You need to bear in mind that we've got 6 soldiers out there, but the 44th, the 2nd 44th East Essex, never had more than 600 men in its ranks anyway. But if you can imagine 600 men in 2 files, shoulder to shoulder, on a ridge, facing a column of Frenchmen coming towards them, they would be an impressive sight. Now, the British Army at the time was the best trained army in the world, and one of the very few to actually use live ammunition for practice. And the Redcoat regiments and the 44th is only a humble line county regiment. It's not a fancy fashionable regiment. It's not the Guards. It's not the light infantry. It's not the King's German Legion. They're a humble county line regiment, and they can fire those muskets minimum of 3 times a minute. And with a bit of luck, they can get to 5 times a minute, but it would rely, as the Colonel said, on the weather conditions, on how many times the gun's been fired, or whatever. But what would happen is the 44th, regiments like the 44th, lined up, shoulder to shoulder, they would be firing every musket they had, as often as they could, and throwing walls of lead at the French. Once they fired 3 to 4 volleys at the French get a little bit, ooh, don't like this. And they get a bit wavery because the French had never faced an army like the British. And they got a bit wavery and they got a bit panicky. So after 3 to 4 volleys, and the French columns are coming up the hill at them, the regiment will then fix bayonets and see them off in fine style with the bayonet. Colour?
Section well prepared to give volley fire. Make ready. Present. Fire.
Of course, the rifles are as good in volley as they are
Shoulder.
thinning out the opponents. But then we need to see the French off. Now, a bayonet charge is obviously very, very famous. You've seen it all on television time and time again. But it is a recorded fact that almost, in the Napoleonic Wars, almost all bayonet wounds are in the back. Because the French, by this time, have had enough and they're running away. And most bayonet wounds are definitely in the back. But very often the bayonet isn't pressed home. It's normally just the fear of the thing that sees them away. Once they're loaded and once they're ready, they'll fix bayonets and we'll demonstrate a bayonet charge.
Section, we're prepared to give volley fire. Make ready. Present. Fire. Recover.
Cover.
Shoulder out.
Show your arms. Order! Hold! Fix! Bayonets!
If you see the redcoats out there, Wellington is renowned for referring to his soldiers as the scum of the earth. When you see that lot out there, you know what he means.
Hold! Hold! Go! Bayonets! And with that blood curdling through, they've actually seen
see the French off. The French are on the way back. They'll either reform further back or they'll just decide to go home and have some sails. So very basically, this is a very small snapshot of what the infantry did 200 years ago. But we're going to, like every regiment, even today in the British Army, there is a lot of friendly rivalry between the units. And the Rifles have challenged the 44th to a speed firing competition. Major Lee will give them the command of prime and load, and they need to get 3 rounds off as quick as they can. So we expect lots and lots of cheers and encouragement, please.
So, 3 rounds. You finished, come to the shoulder, and say round complete. Both ready, gentlemen? In your own time.
The loading procedure is exactly as it should have been 200 years ago.
In your own time. Prime and load.
Come on then. Right.
Right, looks like the Rifles are slightly in the lead at the moment, but it looks like Redcoats might be catching up. And so far,
What?
the Sergeant Reese is in the lead. It's very, very tight. Major Lee's just making sure their shoes are clean. And he's well in the lead with Mr. Priest, but once again, these weapons are notoriously unreliable. So anything can happen in the next half hour. And honour is served.
Forward. Up.